fans, welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host as always, Cammy. I'm happy, finals are over, you're going to see a lot more content coming up, but besides all that, let's get on to the pick of the week. First up, the pick of the week from Marvel. We have Atlas #1, written by Jeff Parker and art by Gabriel Hardman. Now, I was a big fan of Agents of Atlas, I was a big fan of the 3D Man, and to have them both together in one comic, that's pretty good. Because we haven't seen Delroy Garrett, the 3D Man, since Secret Invasion, and the Skrulls, and Avengers the Initiative. So, to see him back, and maybe perhaps joining this team, it's good in my book. He's seeing kind of visions and flashbacks of the Agents of Atlas from like the 50s or 60s. He can't really make it out what specific era, but the original 3D Man is with them. And so, it's interesting and odd to him, and it's in the back of his mind, and now he's kind of looking to find these Agents of Atlas because a lot of people around him are starting to get possessed and trying to kill him for one reason or another. He's in Hollywood trying to, get some sort of TV show or an agent along with his girlfriend, and he's just getting attacked at all these parties. We get cameos from the old 3D Man on Shore to Shore, which is a little ripoff of Coast to Coast with George Norrie or Art Bell, if you're, a listener from way back. Great radio show. But anyway, that's besides the point. He tracks him down to San Francisco, goes to investigate, tries to track him and say, now hold up a second, but he's brought down to their secret world of Atlas, and now he's confronted by the team. So, next issue looks to be good. I had fun. The art was very noirish. It fit really well because along with the Agents of Atlas, it's just a great superhero team for Marvel. Jeff Parker knows how to write this team. Good stuff. Now on to the Fast Five. First up from DC, we have DC Universe Legacies #1. This was very close to being my pick of the week. Much like the Marvel Universe had Marvel's Project, we have DC Legacies, written by Len Wein, and art by Andy and Joe Kubert, a little J.G. Jones in there too, and Scott Collins as well. But mainly it's, we're following this old street punk, the street tough, Paul Lincoln. He grew up during the Golden Age when all these heroes were starting to make themselves known to the public. So we have in this issue, for instance, we have the Crimson Avenger, we have the Sandman, we have the Atom. Paul tells us how when he was a kid, he would do all these little odd jobs for the mobs or the mafias, just some way to make money. He knew it wasn't the best line of work, but he was still getting money and paid regardless. One night at the docks, he gets there's a fight between the Atom and the Sandman. He saves the Atom's life by warning him about a bullet, and the Atom gives him his card and says, "You might want to rethink your life." And sure enough, Paul's going to do that. There's a little backup featuring J.G. Jones with the Spectre and a couple more heroes, but Dr. Fate. I had fun with this book. If you're looking for a little bit more of the Golden Age JSA and DC heroes, pick it up. You're going to learn something because it hooked me, and I know a lot already about these characters. Next up from Boom Studios, we have The Anchor #8. Now, unfortunately, this is the last issue of the series. I thought it was going to go on for a long time, and hopefully we'll get to see it in other mediums, so apparently sales weren't all that great. But despite that fact, I had a lot of fun with this last issue. We have the body and soul of the Anchor going down to the underworld to rescue Hoppy. The body has her heart, plugs it back in, while the soul takes care of Satan. They're dueling it out. And the thing about these big demons is you can't necessarily kill them completely like you can with the other demons that arrive on Earth. If you just eat their heart, they're dead. Demons, no matter how much you kill them, they're going to come back eventually. So while this big bullfight's going on, Soul needs some backup, Body joins them, they become one, defeat him, and then they part ways once more as the Body takes Hoppy up back to Earth, and the Soul remains down, battling the demons at the gates of hell. Great stuff. Brian Churia's art is just gorgeous, and Phil Hester's story, I'm going to miss it. I'm not going to lie. It was a really good series. Look for it in hardcover. It's going to be one gorgeous 8-issue hardcover, I'm sure, down the line. Next up from Vertigo, we have Joe the Barbarian #5. Now, we have Joe still hallucinating. We go from aerial dogfights with manta rays, then down into the swamps of what used to be the Hall of Heroes. And you see nice little similarities, like the Hall of Heroes in real life is all the portraits of his dad who died in Iraq, and so it's a nice little it's nice little reflection. And then also we have the door was left open in real life IRL, and so this dog wanders in, and now it's Jack, his rat slash warrior friend, who apparently comes clean and says, no, I'm actually not a warrior, I'm actually a juggler. Him going up against the dog. Unfortunately, we lose Jack, but it was an epic fight. And then Sean Murphy's artwork in this is just consistently gorgeous. If you don't like Grant Morrison's story in this, pick it up for the art alone. You're going to really have a fun time. And then at the end, he calls Mom and tries to get her to come home sooner, but he's just not really making that much sense. Great stuff. Go pick it up right away. Next up from DC, we have Legion of Superheroes #1. All-new series featuring the Legion of the Superheroes, written by Paul Levitz 20 years later, and he's back on the title. We have many things going on in this issue. We have Earthman having the option to join the Legion of Superheroes, because if the Legion don't take him, the Legion can't have their headquarters on Earth anymore. Because fucking Earth Gov, there's always one thing or another. No matter how many times Legion saves their asses, they always have something against them. It's like, what the fuck? Anyway, so we have, while this is going on, Saturn Girl returns home to Titan to write in her little live journal. We have the Time Institute discovering that they don't need time spheres anymore to go back in time to look at histories. They have this gigantic screen. Fortunately, that blows up, and now it wreaks havoc on Titan, and Titan explodes, unfortunately. Lots of chaos and death, and the scream across the universe is heard, and then while this is all going on, the Green Lantern Corps is resurrected for a little bit, and they are looking at Earthman to join the Legion. So now he has 2 rings, hence the cover, hence what intrigued me. I was blown away by this first issue. It was very action-packed. Myself still not all that familiar with the Legion. It's helping me learn. If it can help me, it can help you too. Go pick it up. And finally this week, from Red 5 Comics, we have Atomic Robo and the Revenge of the Vampire Dimension, #3. Long title, funny book. We have reports of a lizard man on this one island. Atomic Robo goes to check it out. And apparently it's the first meeting of Dr. Dinosaur, which is this very intelligent velociraptor who has captured Atomic Robo, explains that he's going to have world domination. He's going to destroy the puny human race and have the prehistoric reptiles come to conquer. Atomic Robo can't let this happen. Luckily, his rescue team gets to the scene in time, free him. There's a big fight that ensues, and a big explosion happens on the island, as many fights usually end up being in comics. And you think Dr. Dinosaur was destroyed, but apparently he survives. And hopefully we'll get to see more of him in the future, because there were a lot of funny moments between Atomic Robo and Dr. Dinosaur. Scott Wagner's art on this was gorgeous, and Brian Kleminger's story, what's not to like? It's good stuff. If you like Hellboy, it's like that, only it's more humorous, and it's a robot instead, made by Tesla. Well, comic book fans, that does it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, head on over to www.cammyscomicorner.com. From there, you can check out old episodes of Geeky Talkie, you can go talk in the forums, and check out the Book of the Month reviews as well. Also, if you like any of the kick-ass t-shirts that you usually see me wearing, head on over to deadlinegraphics.net and send Kelly an email. He has the best of custom-made t-shirts, comic book t-shirts, whatever you want, he'll put it on a t-shirt. Only one name that I trust, and that's Kelly at deadlinegraphics.net. And also a big shout out to Rising Sun Creations at rse-online.com. They specialize in the best of comic books, manga, and collectible toys imported straight from Japan, all conveniently located at their store in Mission Valley. If you are in the San Diego area, stop on by, or at rsc-online.com. And they actually have a contest this week. If you want a 1 in 15 variant of The Avengers #1, send me an email with your shipping address to cammyscomiccorner@gmail.com and put in the subject line, Avengers Assemble! And please live in the United States, because I can't ship internationally. It's too expensive. So that does it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. If you want more me talking on stuff, check out Break the Fourth Wall comic book podcast. I've been a guest on episode 88, and I had a lot of fun. It was a big week of comics, and we talked a lot. So in the meantime, in between time, this has been Cammy's Comic Corner. I've been your host, Cammy. Sayonara, suckers.